Hello everyone, Board Game Lawyer here. It is a Friday evening. It was a scorching hot day here in summer, and now we're having thunderstorms, and so I can think of no better reason than to stay inside and play some Marvel Champions from Fantasy Flight Games. And so tonight I'm going to play with She-Hulk. Yes, one of my, well, actually I like all of the heroes in the core set. Very well made. So we're going to use She-Hulk tonight. We're going to use her in protection, and it's kind of a techie deck, as you can see by her hand there at the bottom of the screen. Energy barrier, so forth. So we're going to try to do some She-Hulk resets. And we're going to play against one of the actual newest villain in the game, and that is Mojo. And so let's take a look at Mojo and see how Mojo works, and let's get everything set up. And let's get ready to play. So, Mojo Mania is our main scheme. Side 1A tells us that we use Mojo 1 and 2 because we're using the standard today. And also the standard encounter set is shuffled into the encounter deck. It says in setup to choose one modular set plus one additional modular set from the Mojo Mania scenario pack and set them aside. Put the Wheel of Genres environment into play, spinning side face up. And so here is our Wheel of Genres. It says force response after the encounter deck resets. If there are no set-aside modular sets remaining, the players lose the game. Otherwise, flip this card. All right, and so Mojo Mania, that's everything. We have Wheel of Genres in play, spinning side face up. Let's flip over to our B side. And it reads, when revealed, choose one set-aside encounter set at random, reveal its show environment, and shuffle its remaining cards into the encounter deck. Forced interrupt. When a character flips or leaves play, move all threat from that character to the scheme. If the stage is completed, the players lose the game. It begins with 10 threat on it. It threats out at 25 in solo, and you add 1 threat on it per turn. So let's take a look at the set-aside modular sets. They're right over here down at the bottom of the page. And we'll just flip the first card up, and it belongs to, it's an environment, and it belongs to the sci-fi genre. So we'll set this Mojo runner into play. It says each minion and ally gains toughness. When revealed, discard each other setting environment in play. If this card was revealed for the encounter deck, it gains surge. So that is how that setting works. I don't remember if I've played with sci-fi yet in Mojo, but it's there now. Each minion and ally gains toughness. So it's said to reveal one set aside at random, reveal its show environment, and shuffle its remaining cards in the encounter deck. So the remaining cards for sci-fi are Avalanche 9.0, and we've got Blob 3.14, Blob of Pie, Magneto, there's going to be a lot of minions in this one, Pyro 4, and we have Toad 2.0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and one more makes Iceteroid M. Okay. These are all part of the sci-fi set. So we'll shuffle all of those into the encounter deck. All right. And so it says shuffle its remaining cards in the encounter deck. When a character flips or leaves play, move all threat from that character to the scheme. So let's take a look at Mojo and see what Mojo says. It says, after your turn ends, discard the top 3 cards of the encounter deck. Place 1 threat on your hero for each card discarded this way that does not belong to the Mojo encounter set. Okay. 1 threat for each card not belonging to the Mojo encounter set. I think that's everything. So we just need to remember that when allies pop out or when minions pop out, that they gain toughness. And we also have Mojo Mania, Wheel of Genres. Okay, so Jennifer Walters is the She-Hulk. She has 5 recovery. Attorney and Gamma are her traits. She says, I object, interrupt when threat would be placed on a scheme. Prevent one of that threat. Limit once per round. She has a hand size of 6, hit points of 15, And now we're going to take a look at our hand and see what we can mulligan off. So I generally don't play with superhuman strength. Maybe I should, but I'm going to go ahead and mulligan that off. I'm also going to mulligan off superhuman law division, although probably wouldn't be a bad card to play. No, don't have any mental. So superhuman law division, energy barrier, yeah, we'll discard that for now. We have 1-2 punch, limitless stamina, and Starhawk, all cards that I like. I like resetting She-Hulk, but yeah, we'll leave Starhawk there for now. And we'll draw 3 more cards. We've got Polaris. We also have Ground Stomp. And we also deal ourselves Hellcat. Return Hellcat to your hand is her ability. Alright, so those are our 5-6 cards to start the game. And let's begin by seeing what we can do with She-Hulk. So we have limitless stamina and 1-2 punch. Those cost 1 each to play. Polaris would cost 3, and she comes into play. Give an X-Men character a tough status card. Well, any X-Men characters that would enter play would be part of that Mojo runner. So I tell you what, let's put Starhawk into play. Yeah, I like him. It says when Starhawk takes damage exactly equal to his remaining hit points, turn him to your hand. So yeah, we'll go ahead and put Starhawk out, and we'll spend Hellcat and Polaris to put out Starhawk. And then, is that right? Is that what we want to do? Let's think about that for a second. Starhawk. Or maybe it would be better to put Hellcat out for 3. Yeah, let's do that instead. Let's spend Starhawk, let's spend Polaris, and we'll spend the Ground Stomp to put out Hellcat. All right. So when she comes out into play, she gains toughness, and we'll just let that kind of sit there for now. And we'll flip over to our She-Hulk side. So whenever we do that, it says, do you even lift? Response, after you change this hero to this form, deal 2 damage to an enemy. So we're going to deal 2 damage to Mojo. And then we will attack for 3 onto Mojo. We'll use 1-2 punch to pay for limitless stamina, which says play only if your identity has at least 14 printed hit points. We do. It says ready our hero. So we'll spin that to put out She-Hulk. And then we'll exhaust She-Hulk to do 3 more damage to Mojo. Alright, we're going to leave Hellcat alone for now. Do we? Yeah, we will. And we're going to end our turn, but it says after your turn ends, discard the top 3 cards of the encounter deck. Place 1 threat on your hero for each card discarded this way that does not belong to the Mojo encounter set. So yeah, we'll go ahead and end our turn, advance the phase, and let's look at the top 3 cards of the encounter deck. The first one is, and we discard these, right? Yes, it says after your turn ends, discard top 3 cards. So this one does not belong to Mojo. This one does. This is the director's directions, and supporting actor is also a Mojo card, so we place 1 threat onto She-Hulk. And the best way to do that is F5. Okay. 1 threat on She-Hulk. And it's Mojo's turn. So we're going to place 1 threat onto the Mojo Mania. And then Mojo is going to attack. So we'll block that with Hellcat. So the damage is going to be 1, 2, 3 plus 1 is 4. So it knocks that tough card off of Hellcat. This card. And then draw a card for encounter card. It says this card gains surge, but no, we're in hero form. So the villain and each minion engaged with you attacks you. So there will be no blocking with Hellcat now. So the damage that's going to get dealt to She-Hulk is, let's see, Pyro 4.0 has a boost which says take 2 indirect damage. And then Mojo's going to do 1 damage. So let's put 2 indirect damage into Hellcat, and then we'll take 1 damage onto She-Hulk. Oh no. Yeah. Discard card. Alright, so that's going to end Mojo's turn. Let's advance the phase back over to She-Hulk. She-Hulk, there's Nightcrawler. We could bring Nightcrawler out. We could bring Hellcat back into our hand. That might be a good idea. Yeah, it says action, return Hellcat to your hand. So we're going to return Hellcat to our hand. She-Hulk is going to attack Mojo. Going to do 3 damage to Mojo. And then we're going to play that 1-2 punch, which says that after you make a basic attack using your attack, ready She-Hulk, and we're going to spend legal practice to do that. So we're going to ready She-Hulk, discarding 1-2 punch. And then we're going to, with She-Hulk, attack Mojo again for 3 more. Then we're going to spend 3 resources, energy, Nightcrawler, to put out Hellcat. And she gets a tough card, remember? Add a tough. We'll flip She-Hulk. That 1 threat that's on She-Hulk is going to actually get moved over to Mojo Mania after she flips. And since we're not in hero form anymore, this is a forced response. After your turn ends, discard the top 3 cards and place 1 threat. So we're not in hero form anymore, but we're going to go ahead and end our turn by advancing the phase, readying everything. I got split personality, awesome. I also have ground stomp, repurpose, limitless stamina, repurpose, and the power of protection. That's my hand going into the next round. So we're going to place 1 threat on Mojo Mania. We're not actually going to, because we're going to object to that. So Jennifer Walters objects to putting threat onto Mojo Mania. Mojo Mania is going to draw a boost card, which is 2 plus 2 is 4. So we'll put 4 threat onto Mojo Mania. And then the encounter card that we draw is Curtain Call. It says move all threat from the character with the most threat onto to the main scheme. If no threat was moved this way, place 1 threat on each character you control. Okay, so we're going to put 1 threat onto Jennifer Walters. And we're going to put 1 threat onto Hellcat. Alright, very good. So that's going to end Mojo's turn. Let's see, what can we do here? So for sure, we're going to flip. I'm going to flip a card. And when we do that, it says, do you even lift? So we're going to do 2 damage to Mojo. But we do move that 1 threat from She-Hulk over to Mojo Mania. So now it's up to 16. So Mojo Mania, we knock out stage 1 of Mojo. And so here comes stage 2. It says, when revealed, place 2 threat on each friendly character. So we got to place 2 threat onto She-Hulk. And we're going to place 2 more threat onto Hellcat. Alright, so She-Hulk is going to attack. Let's see if there's anything else. It says force response. After your turn ends, discard the top 4 cards of the encounter deck. Place 1 threat on your hero for each card discard. Okay, so yeah, She-Hulk. She-Hulk is going to do 3 damage to Mojo. And then She-Hulk is going to... We're going to play Limitless Stamina, and we're going to use Repurpose to do that. So we're going to ready She-Hulk to do 3 more damage to Mojo. Alright, so this is all taken care of. Now we could play Split Personality, which says change your form, flip your identity card, then draw up to your printed hand size. So yeah, we're going to spend Repurpose, we're going to spend Ground Stomp, and we're going to spend the Power of Protection to flip She-Hulk to her alter ego form. We'll discard split personality. Now, whenever we flip, remember, we have to, we have to move that threat back over to Mojo Mania, so both of the threat comes off of She-Hulk. But we do get to draw 6 cards, because we get to drop our hand size. So there's Clea, Limitless Stamina, Genius, Force Field Generator, 1-2 Punch, and another Force Field Generator. So Limitless Stamina we can't use. It's a hero action. Clea we could put out on the table. We could spend 2 to put out Clea. And then we could spend 3 more to put out one of these Force Field Generators, which I like. I like that idea. So yeah, let's bring out Clea. And we'll spend 1 Force Field Generator to do that. And then we'll spend our... Nope, we got to spend 2 cards to do that. So we'll spend our 1-2 Punch and Force Field Generator to put out Clea. And then we'll spend a Genius card and we'll spend Limitless Stamina to put out the Force Field Generator. Okay, now with Clea, we're going to do 1 damage to her to remove 1 threat off of Mojo Mania. And we'll exhaust Hellcat. We'll just remove her Tough card to remove 2 threat off of Mojo Mania. Actually, no, we wouldn't have done any damage to Clea at all, because she would have came out into play with a Tough card on her. And so, yeah, she doesn't take any damage because of that having a Tough card on her. So instead of consequential, she's still at full strength, just like Hellcat is. So we have Force Field Generator on the table. Jennifer Walters is now into her alter ego form, and we're going to go ahead and advance the phase. Again, we are not in hero form, so we don't have to do the forced response on Mojo. Let's take a look at what we got in our hand. We got Repurpose. That's beautiful. We got Iceman. We've got Iron Fist. We've got Legal Practice. So we got some good cards in our hand. Let's go ahead and place 1 threat onto Mojo Mania, but we're not, because we're going to object to that using Jennifer Walters' I Object Interrupt. No threat being placed on there. So Mojo, who has a scheme of 3, is now going to draw a card, and it's going to be a 0. So he places 3 threat onto Mojo Mania, and I'm glad to be rid of one of those advanced cards. Alright, so our encounter card that we draw is Caught Off Guard, which says discard an upgrade or support you control. If no cards were discarded this way, this card gains Surge, which is a bummer, because I was going to use that Force Field Generator to repurpose Jennifer Walters to hopefully end this game. So, yeah, discard the Force Field Generator. Bummer. And that was an upgrade or support we controlled. Alright. Well, we're still alive. I just take an extra turn now. So we are going to turn things back over to She-Hulk. Jennifer Walters is going to flip. And when she does, do you even lift? We're going to do 2 damage to Mojo. I don't have a way to ready myself, but there is that power of protection. And so, yeah, She-Hulk's going to do 3 damage to Mojo. 1, 2, 3. We're going to spend, you're going to use the power of protection and Legal Practice to put out that Force Field Generator. We will repurpose that Force Field Generator. It says discard a tech upgrade you control, ready your hero, and choose thwart or attack or defense until the end of the round. Your hero gets plus X to the chosen power, where X is equal to that upgrade's printed cost. Alright, so we're going to repurpose that Force Field Generator. We're going to buff up She-Hulk's attack, so we're going to ready her, and she's going to attack for 5 now. 6 actually, because of the Force Field Generator. So 3 plus 3 is 6. So he's down to 1 health. And then Hellcat or Clea is going to do the final blow to knock the last damage off of Mojo. So She-Hulk makes quick work of Mojo this evening. This was a fun game. This is a quick game. But she's powerful. She can dish out a tremendous amount of damage. And Mojo is, after all, spineless. So if you ask a spineless person if they lift, it's not going to go well for anyone, especially Mojo. So, all right. Anyway, so that's the end of the game. Thanks for watching. I'm the Board Game Lawyer. I'm going to try to get some more games in this weekend. It's a little bit longer weekend, so I can possibly play some more games. But thanks for watching my show today. I'll try to upload this one to YouTube. And anyway, until I come back and play again, have a wonderful evening. Take care.